Today we're taking a look at Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, the newest game in the Tiny Epic series from Gamelyn Games. I'm Mark Maya, and this is Board Game Coffee. Now, before we get started, you should know that all the components in this video are in their prototype state. So now, with that said, let's continue with our video. Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is a 2 to 4 player competitive worker placement game where you control a small group of ranchers who spend their entire day wrangling in dinos for your very own Dino Ranch. Have you seen Jurassic World? Well, in Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, you're basically Chris Pratt. This one, not that one. Although the idea of Star-Lord, the intergalactic dino space wrangler, sounds pretty awesome. Ooh, Tiny Epic Dino Guardians. Oh, even better, Tiny Epic Dino Galaxies. Not bad, right? That one's on me, Gamelyn. This whole game design thing is easy. Anyway, we're not here to discuss what could be, although what could be would be amazing. We're here to discuss what is. And what is a pretty tight little worker placement game in a tiny little box. You see, actually, maybe you don't. It's getting close. In Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, each player is given 4 of these little baby ranchers and 1 big daddy rancher who rules over them all with an iron fist. And if they know what's good for them, they'll stay in line, or else. Actually, there's nothing dark or sinister about the theme of this game, but you know, I like to make stories. And these aren't baby ranchers, they're all just ranchers, but this big lead rancher is worth 2 of these little ranchers. And when you start the game, you only get 3 of the little ranchers. The 4th rancher gets unlocked at the start of the 4th round. Now, each round in Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is broken up into 7 phases. Now, that might sound like a lot, but really it isn't. And each of those phases is displayed here on this convenient little reference card for your, convenience. Of these 7 phases, there's actually only 1 phase that has you placing your workers, or ranchers. You know what I mean. The other 6 phases are still played in order, but every time you enter one of those phases, players take their turns simultaneously. Phases consist of ranch maintenance, feeding your dinosaurs, making baby dinosaurs, etc. And that's pretty much all you need to know. So, if this sounds like a game you'd be interested in, check them out on Kickstarter. May I help you? What do you mean tell them more? I gave them the gist. They get it. You guys get it, right? Let's wrap it up and call it a day. Right? Fine. Fine. God, have a mint. Okay, so let's break it down for you. I'm doing it. Oh, go choke on a goat. On the table, Tiny Epic Dinosaurs looks like this. Cute, right? Look at the colors and your little dino ranch and the dino meeples. I mean, who doesn't like dino meeples? Monsters, that's who. But behind the facade of these beautiful park ranchers and adorable little dinosaurs, there's a serious game of worker placement and resource management. Let me run down what that's like. Here we have our central play area, which is made up of these double-sided cards, which you set to the side that matches your player count. These cards, here and here, are up for grabs and will earn you some sweet points, cool abilities, and some very special dinosaurs. Yes, Vincent, you're special too, and needy. Nearby, we have our pile of colored dino meeples. And over here, we have our handy-dandy reference card and round tracker. Now, on the personal side of things, players will get these resource tracker info sheets and a little ranch. And it's here on this lush green ranch that the magic happens. This is where prehistoric monsters roam free. This is your Jurassic Park. Except there's no rides or gift shops or admittance to the general public. So it's not really like Jurassic Park at all, but there are dinosaurs and Jeff Goldblum. All right, well, Mr. Goldblum isn't here officially, but I did name the lead ranger Jeff, as you can tell by his teeny tiny name tag. Okay, so if we're not running a park, what is it exactly we're doing? That's a good question. Pull up a seat. Now, in Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, players are collecting dinosaurs. What do you mean, where do they get the dinosaurs from? I don't know, the dinosaur store, or pound, or the dino pound? What does it even matter? It's not like you guys really exist anymore anyways. I'm sorry, Vincent, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Vincent, I'm sorry, Vincent. Vincent, please, I'm sorry. Sorry you had to see that. Anyway, the majority of time playing Tiny Epic Dinosaurs is spent on worker placement, which makes sense being that this is a worker placement game. Although that doesn't happen till Phase 2. You know what? Let's break down those phases.
Phase 1.
In Phase 1, everyone collects the resources shown on their ranch card. So at the start, everyone starts with 3 meat, 5 leaf, and 1 supply crate. And there are some bonus resources depending on where you start in the starting order, but we won't get into that for this video. Now, where was I? Right, resources. As I was saying, at the start of your turn, you'll collect 1 of each of the resources visible on your ranch card. But if you have a dinosaur covering up any of these spaces, they'll block you from gaining that resource. So you'll want to keep that in mind when planning out your ranch, because the last thing you want is your carnivores blocking off all your meat, because if you do, what will they eat? Vincent? Vincent?
Phase 2.
In Phase 2, we assign our ranchers. Now, the rules in this section are pretty straightforward. In most cases, you place a rancher and get a thing, or take the action associated with that space. Although there are some spaces that have a cost associated with them. But other than that, they work like most other spaces. Now, if you collect dinosaurs or barriers, they're stored here in the holding area till the time comes to move them into your ranch. And any food or supply crates you collect are instantly recorded on this resource tracker. Your board is broken up into these 5 primary zones. This zone over here is where you get the majority of your dinosaurs, and you have 2 ways to do so. Either land here to exchange one of your basic dinos for another basic dino, or land in any of these spaces and take the pictured dino. Only thing is, on these spaces, you're required to roll this die, which will result in 1 of 3 possible outcomes. A net, which means you captured the dinosaur without any serious consequences to yourself. A scratch, which will still earn you a dinosaur, but at the same time put you on med leave, and free up that space for the next player. Or this egg, which will earn you an extra dinosaur of the same species. Now that sounds cool, right? You run down to the Dino Emporium to pick up a Stegosaurus and you come back with 2 for the price of 1. That's BOGO, baby. BOGO. But returning to the ranch with an unexpected house guest is not necessarily a good thing. I mean, it could be, but it might not be. You see, more dinosaurs means you'll need to build more barriers and you'll have more mouths to feed. So, careful what you wish for. Sorry, just one moment. I told you, don't interrupt me while I'm recording. I don't know where the Cheetos are. Did you check behind the cereal? Check again. You're welcome. Sorry about that. This zone over here is where players will go to trade in dinosaurs in order to complete contracts and earn themselves some big points. You got the points?
Yeah. We good?
Yeah. We're good.
You got the merchandise?
Yeah, you got the merchandise. Come on. Come on. Come on. Best from the ranch. Oh, you're okay. You're okay. You're gonna love it. Go with the nice man. He's gonna buy you all the ice cream you want. You're gonna love it there. There's gonna be so much room. Just gonna play with all the other dinosaurs. Sayonara, sucker. Oh, hey, Vincent. I didn't think you'd still be up. Martha? Martha who? Oh, T-Rex Martha. I just passed her. I think she stepped out to get some milk. Yeah, I'm sure she'll be back any moment now. Sorry for the delay. I was out picking up some milk. Okay, back to it. This area here is where you either collect barriers or rearrange the existing barriers already on your ranch. Now, the rule usually is, a wall laid is a wall played. So using these spaces to break that rule and rearrange your ranch is an extremely useful ability. And what's also useful is this area down here. This is where you get your research cards. Unlike the contract cards, these cards don't have a dino cost associated with them. But they're also not worth a whole lot of points either. But what they do is unlock a whole bunch of awesome abilities that do things like the dino food additives, which allow you to feed all the dinos on your ranch regardless of your food supply. Or the carnivore DNA log, which awards you with bonus points if you have the most carnivores on your ranch. There's also the enclosure upgrade, which allows you to have 2 dinos in your starting enclosure area. The list goes on. I'm a big fan of games that allow you to earn special abilities that no one else has. It makes me feel special. And last but not least is your resource area. It's a great place to go if you're running low on supplies. Kind of like your dino grocery and supply store. Vincent? Can you run down to the store and get some meat? Vincent? Vincent! Unbelievable. You know, I don't ask you to do much around here. I cook for you, I do your laundry, and I give you a place to live. And all I ask is that you don't eat the dog. And you know what? Sometimes, just sometimes, maybe run to the grocery store and pick up some meat. Is that so much to ask for? You know what? Screw it. I'll do it myself. I don't know why I put up with this. Earlier in the video, I mentioned how this Big Daddy Rancher is worth 2 of these little bitty baby ranchers. And here's why. You see, if there's a space you want and there's already someone on it, that doesn't necessarily prevent you from using it. That just means you have to pay more. And when I say pay, I mean it's going to cost you 1 more rancher than the player who has the most amount of ranchers currently on that space. So if Sally has 1 rancher on this space and Jimmy wants to use it, Jimmy needs to pay 2 ranchers, or 1 Big Daddy Rancher. And if Billy wants to join the party, he's going to have to pay 3 ranchers. So taking over one of these spaces with one of these big ranchers is a great way to drive up the cost of that action. Now that was phase 2, and as I said earlier in the video, that's where the majority of the gameplay takes place. Everything else is the result of the actions you took in that phase.
Phase 3.
Phase 3 is where you retrieve all your ranchers. Actually, that's it. That part is actually pretty self-explanatory.
Phase 4.
Okay, up until now, all the dinosaurs and barriers you've collected have been held here in your holding area. But now that we're in phase 4, the arrange phase, we can start taking dinos and barriers from our holding area and placing them in our ranch. At this point, you can also rearrange any previously placed dinosaurs however you like, although any previously placed barriers cannot be moved. Now, keep in mind, if you can't build a proper enclosure for your dinosaur, so let's say this wall wasn't here, your dinosaur is going to escape, and once they do, if your escapee is a herbivore, it'll trash the place like an intoxicated frat boy at a homecoming party at your mom's place, destroying one of your barriers. But if it's a carnivore that escapes, he'll actually eat one of your other dinosaurs. How rude. Hitch, come here, boy. Got num-nums. I wonder where he went. Vince, have you seen Hitch? It's so weird. I wonder where it could have gone to.
You get back here! Vincent! Get back here this instant! Vincent!
Phase 5.
Now, by phase 5, your dinos are gonna start getting a little hangry. But the good thing is, not only do they eat on a schedule, but they always want the same thing. The Stegosaurus always wants 1 leaf, the Velociraptor always wants 1 meat, the Brachiosaurus 2 leaf, and the Allosaurus 2 meat. Which is great, because you always know what everyone wants and when they want it. Weekly meal prep has never been easier. Now, if you miss one of those meals because you're low on supplies, then your hungry little dinosaur will run away and escape, the result of which will be the same as before. Barrier-breaking herbivores and dino-eating carnivores.
Phase 6.
Breeding. Now, how do I explain this? When a mama dinosaur and a daddy dinosaur share an enclosure, they make another dinosaur. How? Oh, hold on. You see, when a mama dinosaur and a daddy dinosaur love each other, and that's how babies are made. Vincent! Vincent! Not again. Vincent! Now, if the new baby you make can't be legally placed, they'll also run away, following the same destructive rules of escape as their mommy and daddy.
Phase 7.
And now that you've done all that, it's time to refresh your cards and move down your round tracker and do it all over again. Repeat that for 6 rounds, tally up your points, and determine the winner. Happy? That's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted. Alright, okay. If this sounds like a game you'd be interested in, check them out on Kickstarter, October 2019. Thanks for joining us. If you like this video and you want to see more, subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything we do here at Board Game Coffee. But if you want to see more right now, we got plenty of videos to choose from. And if that's not enough, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Mark Maya, and this is Board Game Coffee. And remember, have fun, keep gaming, be social. See you next week.